Hello, my name is Enos and welcome back to my channel. This is Work and Wonder. If this is your first time, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, and anytime I upload a video, you would be notified and you will come straight here and take a look at whatever video that I have posted. On my channel, I talk a lot about the mental health OSCE, and today I'm going to continue with it. But today I will be answering a question that keeps on popping up in the comment section, which is give us tips or give me tips on how to pass my OSCE on my first attempt. So today, even though I normally have tips in the various stations, the various videos that I post, today I'm just going to summarize some tips that are going to help you to pass your mental health OSCE or your OSCE on your first attempt. So the very first one I'm going to be talking about is you knowing the pathway in which you have chosen. We know very well that when we talk about the OSCE, there are so many pathways. You can have the adult nursing, the mental health, the learning disability, children, and then even the nursing associate. So if you are in to take your OSCE, know the pathway in which you have chosen. The pathway is basically when you were doing your initial registration with NMC, which of them that you chose. And mostly with the mental health OSCE, if you chose mental health nursing OSCE, then you should know that it is the mental health nursing OSCE that you would be doing. Knowing this is very, very helpful because it basically helps you to know the type of materials that you would be or you should read, or the type of materials that you should go in for when you are looking for the materials. The second thing is to know the station or to know the center where you'll be writing your exams. The center, there are so many centers: Northumbria, Oyster. Basically most of the centers are in the university, so you must know the center for which you are going to write your OSCE. And it's very simple. Just go online and then you search for it, and then you'll be able to know that particular center. Or when they are doing your registration, after they have booked your OSCE, you get an email which shows exactly where you'll be going to write your OSCE. Once you get that notification and you know your center, just go onto their site, and there are so many materials there that you can have access to that is going to help you. I am quite surprised that some people contact me and they are asking for the mock, they are asking for the marking criteria, and then, you know, because once you go on the site, all these documents are there. And aside the marking criteria, which tells you exactly what is expected of you in all the stations, they also have a mock, mostly a mock that has all the 10 stations in it. And then they have more or less like sample or scenarios there, which reflect the true, you know, exam situation. And once you use that, it should be able to help you. Aside that, there are some very, very important documents that people are not searching or people are not looking for. There's this particular document on the various centers website, which is the structure of the exams. It basically tells you what the exams is about. It takes the stations one after the other, it breaks it down and tells you exactly what is expected of you, and even the timing on top. Each of the stations is timed. It tells you each of the stations, the time that is allocated for it. But people are not looking for this particular document, which I find it to be a bit weird, because that document is very, very, very important. If for my mental health nurses, if you have access to that document, then you will be able to know that in the assessment station, they have only depression and suicidal ideation and then bipolar. The reason why I'm saying this is people have contacted me and they're like, how do we do an assessment for dementia? How do we do an assessment for Glasgow? How do we do an assessment? All these things are not in the structure. So if you go on the website, which you can see on your screen right now, and then you look at it, you can see that the various stations and then what exactly goes into it, they've put in it there. So just go on the centers, their website, and then you can find this very, very important document that you would be able to, you know, use, and then it will help you in your preparation. Then the third thing I'll talk about is YouTube videos. YouTube videos are very, very important in helping you to prepare for your exams, especially for those that are doing self-sponsorship. They came in to come and write, so basically they have nobody to help them, unlike those that came through hospitals who have a whole structure or a whole system, like maybe a nurse educator who will take them through the OSCE exams, or even a care home that they will send them to recognized, centers where they teach OSCE. They'll send them there for them to teach them, unlike you that came in to, you came in as self-sponsored and then you are learning on your own. You will resort to YouTube for videos. But the thing is, if you go to YouTube, you should know what you watch. Some of the videos are very old, so when you are looking out for video, I would advise that don't look for videos that are like 3 years old, because in those videos, yes, it's still very relevant, but sometimes the documentation has changed and some of the things that they do have changed. So look for very recent videos, like at least 2 years, 1 year is okay. These videos will be very, very helpful. And then, as I also said, know the pathway. So for mental health nurses, when you are watching the videos, make sure if you are queuing in any station at all, attach the mental health, and then it's going to bring that one out. Unfortunately, there are not a lot of videos out there on mental health, but then at least mine has, I have most of the stations which you can watch on YouTube. And then I think there are a couple of other videos on mental health OSCE that you can also watch that will help you to be able to prepare for your exams. Be very careful the sort of videos, some videos, because I've seen like mental health nurses who have watched so many adult health nurses videos, and then they've gone to take the exams only for them to get there, and then they are surprised that what they watch is not what is being given them, just because they've watched the wrong video. So you have to be very careful type of videos that you also watch on YouTube, depending on what type of initial registration that you've done with the UK NMCs. And then the fourth thing that I'll talk about is the silent stations, be it adult nursing, mental health nursing OSCE. They are silent stations. These silent stations, people tend to always procrastinate in terms of preparation. The evidence-based, the professional values in the mental health, you also have de-escalation and then the planning. They are always like, oh, when it's getting to the last part, I'll practice it. And then nowadays, a lot of people are failing those stations because they don't really practice it very well, and then they get there and then they fail. I would advise that once you start your OSCE, it should be one of the first things that you do. Go through all the silent stations, and on each day, whenever you are practicing, and when you are tired, you've done the other ones that you need to actually, practice, or you need to actually show the examiner in terms of doing it for the examiner to see. When you are tired with that one, or after doing all those ones and then you are tired and you are seated, take one of the silent station, maybe evidence-based. You can take saline against tap water, and then you start to jot something down or start to write. And then at the end, you realize that each day, if you practice, there are about 14 of them. Each day, if you practice one of them, you realize that by the time you go to take your exam, you will have written over and over and over again, and it will become very, very simple for you. The same thing applies to the professional values. The same thing applies to the planning stage. If each day you are able to write at least 2 care plans within the stipulated time, I'm very sure that by the time you go to write your exams, you will be on top of things. It will just flow. It will just flow. So make sure at least each day you practice one of the silent stations, and that will also help you. And then the fifth thing I'm going to also talk about is you should try as much as possible to practice in groups. If even you came in as a lone person, or you came in as a self-sponsorship, just go to Telegram, just type in mental health OSCE preparation, and you'll find so many groups. Just put in the group that you need somebody to practice with, and then people will start popping up. If it is even online, at least you get that form of engagement. And if those people are even within your circle or they are closer, you can always make arrangement and get together and then you practice. Because this particular exams, if you practice as a lone person, or you are just doing it on your own in your room, by the time you get to the center to go and practice, there will be a whole lot of anxieties, because this time around you have about 2 or 3 people, or let's say you, the patient, and then the assessor. That's 3 people in the room, and then you can become anxious, and then you start fumbling and then messing up, and at the end you are going to fail. So try as much as possible to look for other people to practice with. And then the sixth thing is, if you are somebody that you are not able to study very well on your own, I also advise that you should always reach out to people. The YouTube videos that you watch, mostly they put their emails. They just reach out to them and ask them for help, and some of them will be willing to take you through, tuition, or just send them email. If you don't understand anything, just send them an email, and then most of them, like myself, we are always willing to, once I see your email within 24 hours, I'm going to reply, and I'm sure most of the YouTubers out there too, they might also reply to your messages if you want to reach out to them and then ask a question. And then again, also try as much as possible to reach out to your friends who have already written and then passed for at least for some tricks. They'll be able to show you, oh, in this station, this is what I did and it helped me. This station, this is what I did and it helped me. Reach out to them, because most people that are coming already know people here who have passed the exams, and then they have their licenses here as either registered mental health nurses or registered adult nurses. Just reach out to them and then seek for clarification. Yeah, so just reach out to them and then they should be able to help you, because they've already gone through the process and then they have hands down experience, and they would be able to help you in that regard. Then probably the last thing that I'll also talk about is documentation. Most of the stations has documentation at the end, physiological ops implementation. Most of them have some form of documentation. One thing I've realized is that people would do it. For example, implementation, they are going to do the procedure, and then when they are done during their practice, they do not do the documentation aspect and say that when it gets to the exams, they will do that. Never underestimate the power of documentation. Can easily fail you. So when you are doing it, do it as a complete procedure. Once you start from the beginning, you do it right from your scene check or your hand rub according to the WHO guideline down to the documentation. And when you are doing it, make sure you time yourself. You use the required time. If you are supposed to use 14 minutes, you can either time yourself within 13 minutes. If the actual exams is 10 minutes, you can time yourself like 8 minutes, and then you see how you do, including everything, including the documentation. Don't leave the documentation aspect out. It's only when you leave it, then when you get to the main exams, you begin to struggle, because you've been practicing without documenting, and at the end you might go into the exams, you do everything all right, but then the documentation is going to be a problem for you. So basically, these are some of the tips I think when you follow, it should be able to help you to pass your exams on the first attempt. Know which pathway you have chosen, know where to get the materials on the various centers website, and even on NMC website you can get the materials. And don't just get, people just tend to just get the marking criteria and that is it. No, there are a whole lot of material. Aside the marking criteria, you can also find the mock, you can also find the structure of the exams. There's a lot of information in that particular document. Read it, and then of course also watch YouTube videos, watch relevant YouTube videos on the pathway that you have chosen, and then it should be able to help you. Practice in groups, and that should also be able to help you. Reach out to people that have already taken the exams and they might have 1 or 2 tips for you. Reach out to people that do YouTube videos via their emails, and most definitely if you don't understand anything, they are going to respond to you. And then practice and practice and practice with people, and at the end you'll be very much used to it, and on the exams day is going to be more or less like, you know, a usual thing that you've been doing, and then you should be able to pass on your first attempt. And it's going to be as simple as that. My name is Enos and this is Work and Wonder. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. Let us hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month, and then there are more videos that I've made that I'm yet to post. Just keep on liking the videos, keep on sharing, and then keep on recommending my videos to other people, and God will richly bless you. My name is Enos and this is Work and Wonder. See you in my next video.